Hello, I am the Purple Mafia, and this is Halo Wars 2 Marines Only, inspired by Giant Grant Games Marines, Zerglings, Zealots Only videos. Here are the rules for the run. I am only allowed to build Marines. If I have non-Marines, I must put them in a corner, and if they kill a unit that comes to attack me, I will have to restart. I am not responsible for my ally. All hero powers are allowed as long as they don't spawn a unit that isn't a Marine. Hero units that are not Marines are forbidden, so all. No build missions where I do not have Marines are played as normal. If a no build section is impossible with Marines, then I am allowed to play as normal. Turrets are allowed due to some sections being impossible without them due to enemy attack timings. Mission 1 is a no build mission where we pilot a trio squad of Spartans to an abandoned research facility upon the Forerunner installation called the Ark. It is a no-build mission, so I do my best to just get it done with. I did, however, want to show you this one cutscene, as it is my favorite cutscene in the entirety of the Halo Wars 2 campaign, and I feel like it accurately represents what my good old boys and girls have done to me.
Pilot table, 10 o'clock.
Spartans, thank God. We have to get out of here.
Identify.
Isabel, UNSC Logistics, Ark Research Outpost.
Isabel, where are the survivors? What's the strength of the Covenant force here?
Covenant? No, why would... Listen, you're in incredible danger.
What was that?
It's him.
You're coming with us.
As I suspected. Nothing but a man.
Red Team Leader, this is Recon 1. You have multiple hostiles approaching your location.
Alice. We're leaving.
Little demon.
Command, this is Red Team. We have a Spartan casualty.
Hunt them down.
Immediate evac requested.
Find out where they came from.
Douglas, stay with me.
And bring me back anything
Douglas!
useful.
Come on!
Do we have a plan?
We do. Your own spirit of fire action.
Cutter here. Status.
Sir, requesting danger close. On our location, trailing north. Commence 5 seconds.
Interesting plan.
Understood. Archer missiles inbound.
Mission 2, we meet our fabled Marine, the man, women, and badasses that we will be commending for the rest of the run. We start with 2 Marine squads in Jerome 092, a badass Spartan with a massive Spartan laser to evaporate any banished into dust. Unfortunately for us, he is not Marine shaped and will be staying back and out of fights for this one. Our first fight of the run are 3 grunt squads. They are the banished equivalent to Marines, and they make a comeback in a future video. 2 Marine squads cannot beat up these 3 grunt squads, however, there's a workaround. After about 5 to 10 seconds of gaining vision, some allied hornets come in and destroy all the banished structures and units in the small clearing. The intended way for you to beat this is you fight alongside your ally as you clear everything out. What you can do instead is gain vision and then walk backward, letting the AI-controlled hornets clean up the enemy units. In the next clearing, there's a section meant to teach you about garrison. A powerful tool that we will use on some missions so I can't accidentally pull banned units from no-build sections or ones that were given to me for free. There is another aspect to garrisoning, in that it will reduce the incoming damage to my unit stationed in it, and also give me a larger vision radius in some cases. This will become crucial in any kind of defense situation. Something I neglected to mention are the reinforcements that Captain Cutter gives you. In both cases, he gives you 2 Hellbringers, a powerful anti-infantry flamethrower that can burn through grunt squads. Too bad I can't use them. After this, we are given a tutorial on power nodes, a capturable point on the map that will generate bonus energy income, energy being the secondary resource, like a Vespene gas in StarCraft. The next section was the one I was most afraid of. Across the light bridge, there is a large concentration of banished forces, consisting of 5 banished grunt squads. I am supposed to use the power of the Hellbringer to do frontline damage, Jerome for long-range snipe damage, with the Marines being the middle ground damage, coupled with the assisted firepower of Cutter's artillery barrages, which are just there for added effect since he fires at targets I can't see. For some reason, I just garrison my troops to the right and they just don't fight back. I kill 4 of them before the last one is simply out of reach and I move my troops, and then when I do this, Cutter realizes his troops might need some of the heavy covering fire I was promised. So he kills the last grunt squad and the 2 that get called in the second I get out of the apparently invisible garrison. And then I am given the Warthog, a good scout unit and backbone of any factory-based army, which I am supposed to use to scout ahead and give vision for Cutter's artillery barrages. Too bad they somehow got themselves stuck in the mud next to a waterfall. After 2 useless things are given to us by Cutters, Anders gives us access to some of the systems from the Spirit of Fire, and they will be the absolute MVP of this run. She gives us the Restoration Drone's ability, which calls down restorative nanobots that heal and revitalize all allied units and structures in an area. How they are able to revive dead comrades for your Marine squads, I don't want to know. After trashing Atriox's outpost with the help of the allied Hornets from the beginning of the mission, we are given access to a combat station, a low-tier building that allows us to build other buildings around it and produce Marines. One interesting thing about this is that you cannot make Marines out of a barracks, only the main building, meaning I cannot build multiple barracks and spam out Marines. I am very limited in my production, meaning 1 Marine cannot be replaced with 6 in 4 seconds. After fighting through the meager forces and destroying a base that was surrounded by explosive canisters for some reason, Decimus takes the field, a high health hero that does high area damage. However, I could just cut him forever, so after about 3 minutes of that, while periodically throwing grenades at him with my Marines, we damage him enough that he retreats, blasting both his and my troops in order to hide something. Turns out the Banished have been using the Cartographer, a map of the Ark installation, which will show Atriox where all the weapons and key systems are, possibly allowing him to commandeer the Ark as a weapon. Mission 3 starts us with a no-build segment with Jerome, 2 Warthogs, and 3 Cyclops, an anti-vehicle mech. As I cannot build units, I just get past it till the section where I can build units again. After the no-build segment, I am given a very small base, and right after I make it, a large Banis force comes. However, this is only after I build an airfield, and while I cannot build more things, I can bank money. So I wait to bank a bit of cash, and then quickly build turrets on my base, repeatedly building and refunding one of them to draw AI aggro. This, however, does not give me a full refund, so I am slowly being bled dry. After the enemy has almost killed the rest of my base, I manage to kill it, and here's when the rest of the mission happens. Mission 3 is broken up into 2 segments. The No Build section, and then the Call of Duty Domination match, where I have to control the 3 main objectives in order to activate the Forerunner elevator so our Silence Waifu can find her favorite Sentinel daddy. During the mission, we have been given clearance to use the Archer Missile ability, a devastating line of missiles that will help us in breaking through enemy bases, and also the Veteran ability, which basically makes it so our units gain veterancy faster, which makes units that survive longer do more damage and take less in return. After a grueling 40 minutes, because I decided I wanted to try and kill the enemy base but eventually gave up, we unlocked the elevator and escorted Anders to her Tinder date.
Mission 4 starts us as Alice 130, a Spartan of the original trio that helped us escape from Atriox, and now she wants to destroy a banished outpost holding UNSC prisoners. This is also a no-build mission, and I am stuck with only Alice and a few prisoners, none of which include Marines, so play it as normal.
Mission 5, we continue the story of Mission 3. We must get past an energy shield and into the center chamber. The game gives us Wolverines here and drops them right as a Banshee attack hits. However, due to how everything is coded, it's impossible for them to not kill a unit here. So I just instantly command them to go to the back corner where Jerome is hiding and hope they don't kill anything. After destroying a power pylon, Anders sprints forwards hoping to find her Tinder date. Turns out the brutes are keeping him from her, so she tells us to go and kill the brutes and other pylons so we can get to her daddy, each one being held by a progressively stronger force. After clearing out all pylons and destroying some mini-bases, we found out that Atriox is using the Ark's portal network, something we already know from in-game cues, such as units just teleporting in from teleporter pads that have banished technology on them, but I digress. Mission 6 starts us off with 2 Marine squads in our no-build segment, trademarked. This section is impossible with Marines only. After walking forward, our Spartan friend Douglas jumped down and took control of the Wraith blocking our path. It is also impossible to move forward here without him killing the 2 grunt squads in the space due to the low DPS of 2 Marines.
The Banished call them Reavers, anti-air walkers. They use their leaping capabilities for ambushes.
After a bit of fighting, I am given a base, but one problem. I have a lot of units from the no-build section taking up my unit supply. Sadly, they died due to laser-pointed induced injuries. After pushing through the defenses and destroying the devices controlling the Ark's teleporter system, Decimus comes to fight us. This arena has turret slots, and Decimus loves punching turrets. So I just keep rebuilding them, and Decimus is too busy punching the air where they are building, and my troops just kill him. The only reason this took so long was because Decimus was immune to my grenades for most of the fight, for some unknown reason. Mission 7 is a defense mission, where we have to hold off the enemy attacks with Scorpions, Wolverines, and Cyclops, and for some reason, all of them were on a lunch break, so we had to take up arms with our mighty Marines. The first few fights weren't really much. Eventually, Locust came and tried to do something, but once I got a death ball, there really wasn't much they could do. After 20 minutes of defending, it seemed we had won, but then a Scarab appeared, a very large super unit that had a giant fuck-off laser as an eye. It slaughtered multiple armies worth of Marines, but eventually the power of 5.56 and grenades prevailed. Mission 8 is another defense mission. This time, we are defending a Forerunner particle cannon that we plan on using to punch a hole through the shields of the enduring conviction, the banished capital ship. After 30 minutes of basically nothing, I start to question my difficulty choice. However, Mission 3 I think would be impossible on the road. Mission 9 starts us out with a squad of only snipers, play as normal. While I clear up this mission, I just wanted to talk about something. One issue with this campaign is scaling. In some places, the enemy is much more powerful than you when you actually feel like you're scrounging around and firing at their legs while they try to kill you. And on other hands, you just wait for a full army before moving out and full upgrade everything, creating a death ball of units and stomping through the enemy until your troops are low, and then you just use regeneration drones. This is probably because I am on normal, not heroic. But the enemy doesn't really punish you for doing this. Playing safe and building up your forces. StarCraft 2 handles this by also having the enemy research upgrades, getting better and better as time goes on, and in the early stages of the campaigns, you have the most basic upgrades, while the enemy AI can get the best in the game, leaving you hopelessly outmatched, incentivizing you to push out and be aggressive on the map while still feeling natural, because in most cases, the enemy is the more powerful one, and you're the underdog. It gives you a sense of accomplishment, but in this case, I can just build a single unit, and then just deathball with it. Anyway, enough of my ranting. Where were we? Ah yes, Mission 9. After the no-build segment, I am given a 2-slot mini-base to work with. My goal is to defend the 2 Kodiaks while they pummel the enemy base. I am supposed to use snipers to give vision for the Kodiaks while I defend the Kodiaks with Jerome. What I do instead is build up my forces and deploy a frontal assault on the base, the Kodiaks that survive the beginning being my covering fire. After destroying the base, we are transferred to Alice, where we are tasked with setting up 3 Kodiaks on certain spawns. Coincidentally, we are given 3 to work with, so I throw them into the far back of my base and destroy my factory on my 3-slot mini-base. I don't plan on making any more Kodiaks. After again building up a death ball of Marines, I wash through the defenders, eventually letting Jerome onto the grav lift. Mission 10, as you guessed it, a no-build segment. I'm really starting to see a pattern here. Out of the usable forces that we are given, we have 2 Marines. Better make it count, I guess. Using turret drop from our command wheel, in order that lets us drop a turret with timed life onto the field, we killed 2 grunt squads and a blister back, the artillery of the Banished. Action is impossible with just Marines. Having more than 1 blister back in an area at a time slaughters them, but for this one segment I'll make an exception and allow the ODSTs as units. An elite Marine variant, and technically allowed in the rules, however I elected to only use them if absolutely necessary. Up until the end it is doable, but there's an honor guard boss fight and I couldn't beat him under the rules, so I have to enact the rules in which, because I cannot build, I can use the rest of the group to beat the no build segment. After this, Douglas commandeers the damaged scarab the honor guard was protecting, using it to break through the barricades. After about 4 armies worth of troops are thrown into the grinder, we get through and destroy the enemy base. Mission 11, we are fighting Atriox for control of the Halo Ring, and we have to kill a Retriever Sentinel, the hardest unit to kill in this campaign, at the 2-minute mark. I was having so much issue with it, I went back to controller, the input I originally played on, and had decided to use keyboard and mouse at the beginning of this campaign to try and get better with it. But when I did, a weird bug happened that I had never seen before, even when I played the campaign on Legendary on my Xbox. The Retriever Sentinel just kind of broke and didn't come attack me. He did for the very beginning of the section, but after a while, he just didn't attack my base. So I just spent 20 minutes getting max tech. This mission, in the second half of it, is basically just mission 3. My goal is to control 3 nodes in a domination match against the Banished to try and gain control faster. All I have to do is hold the top 2 nodes because they're way closer and Marines are pretty slow, so it's really hard to contest the other ones. After like half an hour on the mission, I'm able to get pretty close to the end. And then I decide to go run around and kill the enemy base and the Banished retake the nodes. I mean, it's whatever. And then the mission in total took me about an hour to complete. The part time is 20 minutes. I mean, yeah, took a while. Mission 12, the last and final mission, is a defense mission. Super. But there was actually a twist here that made the mission somewhat interesting. It's a no-build mission. The story is that there isn't enough time to set up a base while we defend Anders in the control room from the Banished. So I'm supposed to rely on the ODST drop ability and the reinforcements that the Spirit of Fire will give me. Which most of them are useless other than the first one, which gives me 8 Marines. After 23 minutes of defending, Anders has finished turning off the Halo's weapon systems and has placed the comms beacon. To finish what she needs to do to get the Banished off the ring, she needs an extra 2 minutes. So, during the 2 minutes, I have to hold out against a large army of troops that I barely have the numbers for due to the dwindling troop count, and 3 Scarabs. Thankfully, even though I was running on basically no troops by the end of the mission, I have a 2-minute survive timer, so when that ran out, I win. And that answered the question, can you beat Halo Wars 2 with only Marines?